Welcome back. Hey, Jess, we're here, brother. And we are here with Cameron O'Hearn, author and producer of The Mass of All of the Ages. It's on YouTube.
You know, I see Cameron and that this generation as new crusaders.
Yeah, because Jess, we're old. These guys are the young guys.
They're fighting these guys have zeal.
Yeah,
these guys know how to use technology.
Yeah.
These guys are the new crusaders. And since I'm Hispanic, I'll call them the new cristeros.
Yeah.
They're fighting for the traditions of the church. And I'm so glad that we have replacements right around the corner, Terry.
I'm with you. And you know, when I say actions speak louder than words, I'm referring to the Latin Mass. The actions of the Mass, like you just said, Cameron, illustrate a belief in the real presence, the sacredness.
Well put, Terry. Well put.
It came to me while you were describing it. Let me ask you this. Have any bishops or any clergy from the Roman Curia, contacted you or given you support for your project? Because I know there's got to be some people out there that go like, hey, God bless you, young man. Keep it up. Do you get that at all?
Yeah, not in publicly usually.
Of course not. Not in public.
Sometimes
that
people are like, "Oh, I don't want to." There's certain ideas about the Latin Mass and people behind it that there's bishops who don't want to publicly associate with it, which is I guess understandable. So there's several of those, but also in our films, Bishop Strickland was in episode 1.
I was just going to tell you, I interview him every Tuesday on Virgin Most Powerful. He's constantly talked about your movie. So yeah, I know.
Really?
Like, oh yeah, we talk about you all the time about the movie, The Mass. His point, he just keeps saying, he says, people don't understand the Mass. We've got to go back to the Eucharist.
That's right. He's all about the Eucharist.
Yep.
That's why I have a lot of respect for him.
Yep.
Bishop Athanasius Schneider is in our films. And then the bishops in Lincoln. So the Lincoln Diocese, Bishop Conley, Bishop Breskowitz, Emeritus Bishop. So yeah, we have a lot of support from bishops, both off screen and on screen.
Good for you. You should. God bless
you guys are doing good work. And I just, well, here's another question. I don't want to go negative here, but but I have to ask, have any modernist Catholics attempted to discredit your work?
And before you answer that question, we're talking about the National Catholic Reporter, because I've actually seen something in there, but go ahead.
Oh yeah. And American Magazine and others. Yeah. What's interesting is, I didn't go into this work wanting to be loved by everyone or wanting to be supported by everyone. Like I knew I was jumping out into the fire. And you mentioned how the young guard is coming forward and the old guard is grateful for it. Well, I'm grateful for you guys for taking the shots and fighting the fight on the front lines, that now we have a space where we can talk about it, and where we have the Latin Mass, in many more places. So I'm grateful for that. But yeah, yeah, they take cheap shots, I would say. If you read any of these articles, it sounds like they're not really dealing with the heart of our message, the shocking moments of the film, the watershed moments. They're not really interacting with the arguments we set forward. So yeah, we hear them and we move on. We have a lot of work to do, a lot of things we're building, so we don't let it get to us.
Excellent.
Amen.
Yes.
So who's your spiritual advisor for this project? You probably have numerous people advising you, obviously very well-formed Catholics, because you could just tell by the content you're putting out. Oh, yeah. It's you guys are extremely rooted in the tradition of the church and the scriptures.
Yeah, we have an advisory team that's made up of experts in liturgy, experts in story, and experts in just spiritual life, like spiritual directors. So I won't say their names publicly, but one that you will know publicly is Monsignor Morris, who's in both episodes 1 and 2, and likely in 3. He's that Monsignor, dressed to the nines into that very traditional.
Yeah.
He said the Latin Mass, and it was a low Mass, so very quiet. Didn't quite know what was going on. It was his first time. He's sweating, very nervous. But he goes to the sacristy after Mass and he just starts weeping.
Yes.
Because it was the first time he could actually pray the Mass.
Wow.
So he's a spiritual advisor for us. And we know to do this work, we have to stay close to the sacraments. Yes. We cannot stand on our ego or our accomplishments or anything. We just have to be humble and listen and let the Lord lead us, and always lean on the sacraments.
You know, Cameron, I read the book, The Spirit of the Liturgy, about 20 years ago by Cardinal Joseph Ratzinger. And that really opened my eyes to what worship really is. And I'll never forget when he said, if you ever go to a liturgy where they start clapping at the end of the liturgy, you know they didn't get it. And you see, with the Latin Mass, and I just went to a Latin Novus Ordo Mass an hour and a half ago at our chapel, okay? I mean, ad orientem. There's such beauty when you don't have to be an entertainer. And I'm sorry to have to say that, but the Novus Ordo Mass many times can be into, if the priest wants to be, entertaining you, he's going to tell you all the jokes. And what's beautiful about the Latin Mass in Novus Ordo and Latin Mass and the Tridentine is the priest isn't even looking at you. He's worshiping with you and leading you in worship. It seems to me that in itself, ad orientem, is a huge part of understanding what you're doing at the Mass. Am I onto something?
Bishop Schneider says that would solve most of the problems with the liturgy, just turning the priest around. Ratzinger in the book Spirit of the Liturgy, says that when you turn the priest to the people, it creates this closed circle.
Right.
Where instead of praying in a direction to the Father through the priest, we're praying kind of to each other and trying to make up. It almost feels a little pretendy. It's like we're talking about praying, but what I've noticed is I really pray at the Latin Mass. I'm not distracted by vocal prayer when I'm trying to meditate. Vocal prayer is great, but an hour of uninterrupted out loud vocal prayer, doesn't lead into meditation. It doesn't lead into contemplation. We need silence, and we need the priest to stop trying to make the liturgy something interesting. Just pray the prayers and let me pray them with you.